What's
What is
his
going on?
name? Rob Wilkins. What's up?
Is that my intro? Is that my intro now? Okay. Well, welcome to In the Mix. I am Rob Wilkins. He is Throwback, and we got a show for you today. Last week we weren't here because I had, I'll be honest with you, I had something really cool going on. I was basically, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Uncle Buck, but I was Uncle Buck for the weekend. I watched my two nieces and my nephew from Wednesday through Sunday. Just had a blast, I mean, I see them a lot, but I don't usually get them for a few days, and it was fun. They mean everything to me, so it was definitely worth it. So it was good. So I had to put the show on hold for one day, and I figured if there was a reason to do it, that was the reason to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were gonna walk in and be like, "Yeah, I had something important to do. I had to bring sexy back." But
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's you and me, and we joke around about this stuff. First and foremost, before we get into everything, with the past couple of days and the past few weeks, with me personally, I want to say on camera, thank you, Rob, for being there. You're a
no
good
problem.
friend and a good dude. And it's like that's why like a lot of the conversations like you and me have, it makes me laugh sometimes when it'd be like, really, this is awesome having somebody like this. First things first, too, today's been a little bit weird and sad. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to start off with. DMX died at the age of 50 years old. That's way too young. Um, he it was a he was a hell of an artist. He brought out some good jams. I think we both agree with that, and I know you do for sure. You probably played his music hundreds and hundreds of times, like at probably parties or concert or parties or weddings or however, like what you did for DJing.
Well,
So
for
him,
internet radio, yeah, when I split up to like a Canadian internet radio station, I had free reign to play whatever I wanted. So it was good amount of DMX. That's why I had to start the show with "What's my name?" Rob Wilkins. I figured that would be poignant to go into it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean that was. Yeah, it was when I heard that, and the sad thing is, last night it was reported, but he wasn't dead. So and then today he was. So that's it's too bad. He has, I don't know how many children he has, but I know it's a lot. And that's too bad. I actually like.
It was weird too. Sorry to interrupt, but it was weird too because, like, literally this morning we got a news that Prince Philip passes away at 99, and what I was reading, he was like maybe between 2 to 10 days, like 2 months to 10 days from 100 years old. Like,
let me see here. I have it right in front of me. April 9th. June 10th. So he had a couple more months. June 10th, he would have been 100 years old. So
yeah,
basically 60 days.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that DMX changed the culture of a music genre. I'm huge into European history. I don't know about a lot of people, and it's weird because a lot of people don't seen that. They look at me and be like, see me on the show. They see me out here and stuff, and they think, oh, wrestling, sports stuff. I'm huge into European history, and without Prince Philip forcing the monarchy to conform and change and develop and evolve, we wouldn't have the progress we had with them. There wouldn't be a Diana. There wouldn't be Harry and, William, where they try to change the culture as times go on. He was the first. He literally forced the monarchy in Britain to change everything. And that started into like the late 60s and early 70s. Like, it's interesting how certain things change, and we'll talk about social and historical aspects with when we get into the mania stuff. But for me, seeing two individuals, different perspectives, different for generations, both change a culture where a music person changed the entire landscape of a hip-hop generation, and a man who is a monarchy, who is a prince of Greece, who was originally married to his, believe it or not, his sixth cousin, who is the queen, and literally force them to change after a certain point, and to be where they are. It's amazing, and especially for somebody to live almost close to 100 years old, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. No, I get wrestling. Like, I was getting some wrestling text, and I just want to make sure it was nothing big. But no, I agree. I'm a big history guy too, and excuse me. He was somebody that, like, you pretty much covered it, but like I like European history as well. It was somebody I wrote a lot of like high school projects on, was Winston Churchill. So like over time I read a lot about like the Europe for the most part. I read about World War I, World War II. So yeah,
I have a Churchill quote sitting in my room right now. I look at it every day, and it's so true what it says. And
pull my finger. No.
Failure is not an option. It's a line from, you've seen The Darkest Day?
Yeah, great movie with Gary Oldman.
The black and white quote that's at the end, like, fear is not an option kind of thing. And I have that hanging in my room, and it's true. I look at that every day. Even if I get down or anything like that, that's the one thing I look at, and it drives me forward to get ready for the day.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he has some really good quotes. So, well, let's go ahead and change it from sadness to goodness. So this weekend is a big weekend, WrestleMania, and I'm gonna go ahead and just start about like how I normally do, with like how I normally talk about what I'm watching. This weekend it's gonna be pretty much WrestleMania, or like if I'm not watching wrestling, if I have the TV on, it's gonna be baseball, Twins baseball, and probably hockey if it's on. I'll watch any hockey game if it's on, but there's a lot that's going to be going on, like on Peacock. So I think for the most part, I'll be watching a lot of WrestleMania stuff. I mean, I'm excited, but so that's this week. But coming up, there's a lot of things that I will be trying out. There's a new movie coming out on Amazon Prime called Them, and I'm just going to read what it's about. Actually, this is a series. I'm sorry. It's a first season. Basically, it blends the TV show Lovecraft Country on HBO with the movie Get Out. They basically take a look at the African American experience in the 1950s, and then the series will present monsters of both humans and the supernatural. The show will scare you, and Prime Video is basically going to debut all 10 episodes at once. So somebody could spend the whole weekend, if they wanted to, by binging it. I won't be doing that this weekend, but it is something I definitely want to try. I loved Lovecraft Country this past summer on HBO or Cinemax, one of the two. Either way, it was good. And then Get Out's a fantastic scary film, so I'll be watching that. Another Netflix. This is a movie that's coming out. It's called Thunder Force. Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer are in it. I think Melissa McCarthy is hilarious. She's been in a lot of stuff like Bridesmaids, like Identity Thief, just all kinds of stuff. Like she did that one movie with Jason Statham, and I can't remember the name of, to save the life of me, but it was good. It was good comedy.
She was in Ghostbusters too.
Yeah,
the really bad version of Goldbusters.
It was bad, but there were some good, like a couple of good funny parts. So I'll give it that. But it's nothing that I'll like write home, and it's not comparable to the first or the second film. I do think this new one that eventually will eventually come out. I look forward to it. I don't think that will be on par with the originals, but at least it looks better, So, but anyways, Thunder Force is a comedy with the that Netflix is releasing a new feature film. That's their promise that they've done for 2021 is to try to release a new feature film every week. This movie is directed by her husband, Ben Falcone. Thunder Force, what it is just it brings like a comic book type feel to a film. That basically what happens is she has her friend that's like works in a science company, and like they're trying to like build like superheroes and stuff, and she like basically touches a button and it changes everything, and she becomes super like a superhero. And the trailer made it look like it would be a good hour and a half movie to kind of watch and try to have a little fun. This next one that sounds good, and I don't know if I'll watch it. It depends. I'm gonna kind of wait for word of mouth. It's called The Nevers. It's basically HBO's trying to find their next Game of Thrones, from what people are saying, and this is a retro superhero movie superhero story from the Avengers director Joss Whedon. He did bow out because of like his off-camera life, but they're keeping a lot of things going, and supposedly, and I'll always give HBO shows a shot, because either like it's gonna be good. They've had a track record of putting out fantastic shows for so long. So I'll give it a try. I don't know like if there's any big stars in it. I just went with based off like the story that I read, and basically it's just it has a balance of comedy, strong female characters, just a lot of different references to just with things going on like with everyday life. It'll be interesting to see it. It's basically a graphic novel inspired program, so I'll give it a try and see how it goes. The last one is a movie, it's a movie called, and if I get the name wrong, I'm sorry. It's called Snabba Cash, SNABBA Cash. While the title might not be familiar to most, this is a feature film based on the retitled Easy Money. Like it was basically it was renamed, but it stars Joel Kinnaman, who was in the Suicide Squad movies. He was also in the AMC TV series The Killing, which was fantastic. It's based on a novel. That's not a movie that I'm talking about. It's this 6-episode series serves as a sequel to the film trilogy and picks up with a new cast 10 years after the third film. While it's unlikely that we'll see like faces from the movie like the previous movies, the trailer I watched made it look like it's going to be pretty good, pretty tough. So that's what I'll be watching eventually. And as far as what I have to say about like what I've watched over the past week, I only watched one movie, and that was Kong versus Godzilla. It was better than I thought it would be. I think I would have still rather seen it in the theater, but it was better than I thought it'd be, and that's a good thing. One thing I will say is HBO Max is outstanding. Have you watched that movie, or will you watch that movie?
I'm not huge into King Kong and Godzilla movies, but now it's piqued my interest. HBO Max is really good. I like the fact with HBO Max you could actually watch anime on there too, like Crunchyroll and everything else. But I'm looking forward to see what they come out with. I haven't gotten around to watch a lot of movies because we've all been bogged down watching wrestling for the last few days. But I'm really looking forward to actually sitting down on Tuesday and actually getting to watch some stuff on HBO Max. I've been doing a lot of Hulu lately.
Sure. No, I understand that. Now, will you be watching WrestleMania live?
I'll be watching night 1 live. Night 2, I'm probably gonna watch the latter half of it, and I'll probably will be like waking up, like going to bed late and stuff like that, because I'll be running around after work real quick. It for me, what's exciting about it is that it's going to be really it's going to be really hard to not compare the last 2 nights with Takeover to this, considering how bloody awesome Takeover was. Yeah. And now everybody's like gonna compare, and now WrestleMania, the main roster people on there are gonna have to top it. Watching wise for me, 5th season of My Hero Academia kicked in. Episode 3, which is actually episode 2. It's weird how they do this in subtitles. A lot of like, I come home and my sister will watch HG, like the home, like renovation
HGTV,
show. Yeah, and I'll sit there and watch it with her and stuff. But there's like a lot of trying to find like a lot of different shows, like animes, like it with regular TV other than wrestling, it's kind of hard to find a really good show that has a really in-depth story. But the one thing I am excited about that's coming out at the end of the year, towards the tail end of the year, and they just wrapped it, was The Witcher 2, season 2. And they showed pictures of excuse me, Henry Cavill literally in the whole gear and showing out that they wrapped it, and I'm excited for that. I can't wait to do that. Watch that. Winter and the 4th episode dropped for Falcon and the Winter Soldier today too. So those are some things I'm going to try to watch real fast.
Yeah, and I'll watch 3 and 4 this week. For the most part, I like watching at least 2 episodes back to back. So like last week or a week before, I watched both episodes, the first 2, and then I didn't watch episode 3, so now episode 4 came out today. So sometime next week I'll watch episodes 3 and 4, and then take a week off, and then for 5, and then be back for 6. I think they're only doing 8 episodes, right?
6.
Oh, 6. Okay, gotcha.
It's only 6, and they're hour longs. And then in June, Loki comes out.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's that. As far as like video games go, I'm finally playing something other than hockey and baseball. I started playing just because I'm so anxious to see the movie. I started playing Mortal Kombat 11, or is it 12? I don't know. I've been playing it, whatever it is, Mortal Kombat. It's the first time I've started playing a Mortal Kombat game in forever, but it's fun. I can't do I'm the guy that people would hate to play in the arcade because I'm not doing combos. I'm just hitting buttons.
You're button mashing, yeah.
Well, when I do a combo, it's by accident. So, I'm probably about to lose sound here, so I might have to turn my mic off, but I should be fine.
Well, I mean, are you generally like a button masher, or just somebody that literally just tries to win no matter what?
Yeah.
And as Rob's working on the audio, I don't know. For me, I'm excited, and I'm going to try to get MLB The Show 2021.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. But the most interesting thing is, and I'm not a huge wrestling video game fan, but 2K has an announcement at WrestleMania. Like, that's going to be insane to figure out if they're going to launch a 2022. And there's so many rumors going around too about who could be on the cover of that.
Yeah. They are working on a game. They will, like you said, they will announce something this weekend. And I'm curious too, and to see what they'll do, to see if like who will be on the cover. So I'm anxious to see that.
And also, Microsoft this weekend announced that they are doing an E3 show. So you never know. They might have 2K literally put the WWE product on the Series X and actually show how it will look on the Series X.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I've been playing that. The only other thing, like entertainment wise, and I just skipped over it, and it's not really a big deal, but Sony and Netflix have an agreement that Netflix will start streaming their new movies. So like a few months after they leave theaters. So that means like the new Spider-Man films will go on to
Netflix. That's
almost,
going to be awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be in it. From what I understand, it'll be pretty close to like right after like it hits like DVD or well now Blu-ray. But so yeah, they've already said like that. We'll see like Spider-Man Into the Verse or Spider-Verse 2, Morbius, Uncharted, movie called Bullet Train. So that's going to be happening. It's always good when you see like you're getting good movies like for streaming and stuff. So that makes me happy.
By the way, if anybody's getting upset about the noise, my windows are open because it's 65 degrees here. It's actually nice for a change.
Oh, nice. Yeah, today it was just raining here, but this week I don't really have anything for sports because it's WrestleMania, and I figured with everything going on, we would talk about that for primarily the rest of the show. So I'll start with tonight, though, is like on SmackDown. The two big matches that they've talked about is Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Private Party versus the Mysterios versus
Private Party's over there now.
Not Private. Sorry. Yeah, yeah, I know. I can't believe I did that. You're
literally in like I get it. You've been covering so much.
Yeah. Well, when you're I'm covering.
You're covering a lot of AEW, and then you're ingesting a lot of AEW product. You're used to, seeing the same tag teams. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Well, no, and like the thing is, like, and I've made a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of mistakes, but some mistakes happen. Like the one thing that, like Kip Sabian of AEW, occasionally I'll write Chris Sabian because I'm so like I like Kip Sabian, Chris Sabian. I'm like I don't think about it, but then sometimes I just completely screw up. And like last week, instead of the Pinnacle, like Jericho's new like group, or not Jericho, MJF's new group, I was calling them the freaking Pyramid. I'm like, that's not right, And then I thought it was maybe my spell check when I came back, because after I was told about it, I was like, I know it's the Pinnacle, and they're like, well, you put Pyramid, and I'm like, son of a. So I went back in and fixed that, but that happens occasionally. Like Brian Pillman Jr. I will sometimes I'll.
By the way, look at Rob break down the fourth wall while he's doing this.
Yeah. So it's just that's my point. Is I just sometimes this happens. But basically, I'm just gonna kind of do a quick prediction, and I just want to see if you agree or who you think. But we'll just kind of make this quick. So I think we will see a title change tonight, and I have a feeling, this is just my opinion, I think Otis and Gable are going to win the titles.
I think you're wrong. I think the thing I think is, and it's been said, Ray wants to be tag champions with Dominic, and I think now, if this was on Mania, that would be the perfect choice, and I think that's what's probably going to be.
I could see that, and that's why I have it as either Otis and Gable or Mysterios. Rude and Ziggler will lose the titles tonight. I'm about 100% sure. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is to be featured on this WrestleMania SmackDown, as they're calling it. They have a lot of people in it. There's only 4 guys that I'd want to win. That's Ricochet, who I'd be fine with winning. Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, Ali, or Buddy Murphy. If one of those 4 guys win, I'd be very happy. Who do you think will win tonight?
I think the common consensus is that everybody wants Shinsuke to win.
I would have loved that actually.
But I think if they throw it does, is it just strictly SmackDown talent or is it just all talent?
No, there's Raw talent because Ricochet and
I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm just throwing a dark horse there, even though he's not on the list of names. I mean, maybe Keith Lee makes his return in this. I mean, that could be a possibility, and if that does, Keith Lee will probably be the name that everybody wants.
possibly, yeah, you never know. So, yeah, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and get to night one of WrestleMania. So it just became official. I don't know if you saw it on Fightful, but it's been reported elsewhere too now that Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair will indeed be the main event for night one. That's good. That's something that a lot of people wanted to happen, and it's happening. And it deserves to happen. It's history. So congratulations to both of them. Do you think Bianca Belair wins?
No, I think Sasha retains, especially if the rumors are spreading around from what I hear that are going rampant. And the tweet that was just put out not that long ago, a few minutes ago that I saw.
That. Yeah.
If things stay to be true, we might have a major. I want to save this till a little bit, but we might end up having something major happening that has changed the landscape of SmackDown together. But I think that Sasha is going to retain, but I think something's going to kind of be like really weird afoot. I'm just excited for this. It's more historical, and I think Alex, if you watched Denise's preview show earlier this afternoon, said it best. It's not only just for race, it's also for women in general. How this is a game changer, because think about it, 20 years ago, you would never think that, two women main eventing we had the triple threat match with Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, but we didn't have a straight up one-on-one match to highlight WrestleMania. And it's a big deal with this, especially the social, the historical, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, being somebody that is from Boston and stuff, to see somebody who is a woman that came from this town, this city, and is a champion for one thing, and two is the headliner. I'm just so happy for them because of the fact that it shows that they worked their tails off.
Well, that's what's cool is did you watch the Sasha Banks Stone Cold Broken Session yet?
Yes, I did.
So what's cool about like that story about Sasha Banks is and it ties to me and you because like she talked about how for a while she lived here in Minnesota and then she moved to Massachusetts. So it was just kind of cool because I like one of the stories that she shared about like locally once was that when she was younger and she started her training here, that she would sneak into shows like she went to a First Wrestling show. That's my favorite independent group here in Minnesota. And she would literally sneak into the nightclub to go watch it. And what's funny about that is now I didn't need to sneak in because I was of legal age, but I was at some of those shows. And it's just kind of cool to know that somebody you love to watch wrestle had a dream to be a wrestler, and now they're main eventing the biggest show, regardless what people say. WrestleMania will always be the biggest show in wrestling. And it's cool. It's really cool for her. And I've always liked Sasha Banks. I think she has a presence like no other. Just like how Becky Lynch changed her character. Becky Lynch I've always been impressed with her. I've always liked her energy. And that's what I like about the Four Horsewomen. They've all entertained me. They're all good in different ways. None of them have changed what they call change the channel heat with me. I don't change the channel when any of them are on. They are fantastic wrestlers, and I'm very happy for Bianca Belair. She's the future of this business too, and It's great. So I do think you're right, though. I think I think Bianca as I think there's time for Bianca to win, but there's a part of me that thinks Sasha is going to win. I really do. So I'm going with Sasha as well.
And especially with the rumor going around too,
Yeah,
that if
but
that is,
and I don't want to get into the rumor just in case, like for some people might not want spoilers. So
yeah, but I mean, if that picture is 100% accurate, then it's going to be interesting. But I think the best line about the Stone Cold thing was also it was about her in general. It was William Regal, the story about how she would go into the Garden or any of the local shows and literally be an extra or do certain things or sit behind. The best parts about how she was pointing out how big and major chaotic wrestling was for her and how that changed everything. And it made it a lot more prideful. I mean, I don't have any friends that wrestle for chaotic or anything like that or train with them, but I wish I could ask them themselves how big of a deal that is. I mean, I think that's from what I remember, that is the second chaotic talent to hold a major title at WrestleMania going in or leaving. And Kofi was one of them.
sweet, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so we both agree on Sasha. WWE World Championship. They announced that will open WrestleMania. So Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre will open. I think, and this isn't on Drew. I like Drew McIntyre. I don't necessarily think they need to put the title on him, like just because so we can get that moment that everybody's talking about. I pick him to win because I think that's what's going to happen. I would be completely okay with Bobby Lashley winning. I think he should win because his story is actually somewhat intriguing. Even though a lot of us, I say a lot of us on Twitter cannot believe they broke up the Street Profits because that was the only thing that was like other than the
You
little
mean the Hurt Business?
Yeah, what I say now?
Street Profits.
Jesus.
It's okay.
No,
It's just
yeah, it's just funny. Like I like that. Yeah. So Hurt Business, like they broke them up, and a lot of people are upset about that, and I agree. It's mind boggling that they did that. But I'm still like intrigued about the Bobby Lashley character. So the thing is if Bobby Lashley wins, I don't know who he goes on to next. If Drew McIntyre wins, I don't know where they go with him. So that's the thing about this match that I'm excited with about. So we'll have to see. But I have Drew McIntyre winning. Who do you have winning?
I'm with you. I would be okay with Lashley winning just because of the fantasy booking aspect, and if it actually could work out this way, I would be all for it. If like the $1 million man set used to say, everyone has a price. Let's say Vince pulls out the book and says, "We want you for one more match, Brock." I mean, SummerSlam, Lashley versus Brock for the title, that would be like all eyes on everything. Both people, huge MMA backgrounds, huge amateur backgrounds for Brock and stuff like that. I mean, it would be very interesting if they could pull that off.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Drew's going to pull it out some way, shape, or form.
All right. The next match that I have is The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Is that you or me?
No, my sister's cooking dinner.
I was like, I don't know if that's a fire alarm or what. So The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. I have Bad Bunny and Damian Priest winning this. The Miz and John Morrison don't need this win. Bad Bunny winning might actually, people like to tune in and won't see their guy win. Bad Bunny is going to add some extra eyes to this. Maybe not much, like mini ice, but he's a big merch seller. They can just come out with a WrestleMania shirt with him winning. So he's going to win. That's out of every match that is on the card. That is the only guarantee that I would put money on. That match. I don't see The Miz and John Morrison winning.
The thing also is the casual fan will actually, they're going to get, and let's be very honest about this, around that time that match kicks on, everybody's going to get a bump on that on Peacock. Like literally that whole viewing is going to spike for that entire match, and then it just probably might drop a little bit. But with the dude making, I think he's still number 1 and 2 of merchandise on them for them, and if they were smart, they would try to give him a longer contract than just till Mania. But I mean, I guess he according to what I was reading, he moved to Orlando and literally has been at the Performance Center constantly. So I mean, I think Priest this is going to be Priest's moment to shine, just because he'll be carrying most of the load. But I think when certain spots hit, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bad Bunny being bunny hopping off of the stage over where they're doing the pirate ship. I wouldn't be surprised that he does that night one.
Yeah, the thing that, like, you're right. They've been talking, like, I know Fightful Select had it like a few times about how everybody's impressed with him, and the guy has money. He probably has albums, but what? And this is just a hypothetical, but what if he wants to stay around for a while? That'd be pretty impressive, I think, and it would be smart, like business-wise, to keep him around.
And on top of that, they have 2 major polar opposite stars in 2 major fields in their cupboard, ready to pull the whole glass, the emergency glass that Vince can use. And Bad Bunny be like so big a fan, he'll come back at, like, say, SummerSlam going into Mania for next year, and for NXT you have Pat McAfee down there too.
Well, so McAfee's contract, I believe, is up. So, but he would probably come back. I mean, if they give him the money. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. I think Seth Rollins is going to put Cesaro over. I really do. Cesaro needs this win way more than Seth Rollins does. This match wouldn't surprise me if it went Seth Rollins' way. If Seth Rollins wins, though, I want it to be like him. I would prefer it to be by disqualification or something. I think Cesaro needs to win this match pretty badly.
I wanted to ask you this just because I agree Cesaro should win, but what is your over under 30 swings?
Oh, I don't know.
Or do you want me to drop that number a little bit lower?
I think he hits at least 22.
I think he's going to go for the full 37. Oh, I think he's going to try.
Yeah. I just I hope so, by all means. I just who knows really, if anybody could do it, it would be him, I think. He's outstanding. But yeah, I do think he'll get at least 22. And in 27, I would be surprised, or I should say I would not be surprised, but
have you seen, like, him doing that swing move constantly, more and more, going longer and longer in between?
And so it's one of the things it's one of my. I know you don't go to you can't go to shows because of because of seizures.
Yep.
The one thing like that I notice is fans pop harder for that than they do almost any other move, like at shows, and it's cool. I mean, when you're watching it on TV, it's definitely one of those things where you continue to watch and watch and watch. So, I hope he does it. I do hope he hits 27 or more. I think that'd be fantastic. But I do think Cesaro's going to win, and I'm going to go ahead and move on. You said you believe Cesaro
Yeah,
will win as well.
Cesaro's gonna win.
Okay, so we got on Saturday night, you got the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship, The New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles and Omos. I think AJ Styles will win and Omos will win their first WWE Tag Team titles. I think they're going that route because I think it's I hate this, but I think it's what's best for business. I really do. I think AJ Styles having some kind of belt on him is good. I really do. I actually thought he would have been a good person to have the U.S. title, except instead of Riddle. But Riddle's actually surprised me quite a bit with his U.S. title run, so I'm okay with this. But I think AJ Styles will win his first WWE Tag Team Championship this week.
I think so too. I think AJ and Almost will get that. I think Woods will eat the pin because I think G4 is about to start gearing up full swing in the next 2 or 3 months before E3. So
Yeah.
it makes more sense to take Woods off so he can get on that for a little while.
The thing is they're not. I don't see them taking. It's only 1 day a week right now, you know. So I can see him not missing. Like if he misses 1 day, or like if he misses 1 day of G4, that's not a big deal because you got to look at it kind of like ESPN type thing for Sports Center.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like there's 1 day a week where you don't get your Scott Van Pelt or 2 day, like I could see him going to do Raw, like Cena, like when they do WWE films, like they wouldn't have to do the house shows, but they would still be at Raw every week. So basically, they fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out. I can see this be something with Xavier Woods, and he might be able to just do his thing at home because of COVID still, where he just hosts the show from home. I mean, he has a lot of stuff like already where he can do like a studio show, and if need be, so I think I don't think Xavier Woods will be off TV. I really don't.
I think with Woods though, because of how into he wants to be part of G4, I think what could happen is that when E3 comes around, then they'll take him off because they're probably going to want him to be a big presence, especially with 2K.
Yeah, that's why I don't think I just that's what's good. We can disagree. I just think I think this time I think you're wrong, but I could be wrong. So that's what's good, and it doesn't make either one of us mad at each other when we think the other person's wrong. So
nah,
yeah. So I know you told me before the show started that this is a match you're waiting for the most: Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, in a steel cage match. He didn't say that. I'm just making stuff up. I have never seen a match with a build this bad for WrestleMania. And I'm thinking maybe any other pay-per-view. It has been brutal. That being said, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I think Shane McMahon will win because I think Braun Strowman will throw him through the cage. So he'll hit the ground first. Ooh. I think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be kind of like, it's going to be opposite of what happened at Valentine's Day Massacre back in the day when the Giant threw Stone Cold, or Big Show threw Stone Cold. Stone Cold, granted the Giant or Big Show threw him through the cage too, but it swung open and Austin was able to hit the ground and he won. This, I think, is going to be the opposite. This is just my theory. He's gonna throw Shane through there, and Shane's gonna go through the cage, and he's gonna hit the ground, and he's gonna win.
So you're going to relive history with Miz and Shane, literally Shane sweating it out and just dropping.
Well, yeah, I think that's gonna happen. I really do. I do. I think they're gonna go with it. Because this is a chance. If they go that route, in a way, Braun Strowman is still protected. He didn't get pinned. He lost on a I guess you could say a technicality, but or Shane won on a technicality is what I meant. So it wouldn't hurt Braun. But who do you have winning this?
Shane, obviously, because well, that's how usually Shane matches win. I think the only match he's never won at a Mania was against Taker, but
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. I'm hoping that they finish the match properly and they don't do something stupid, which it's WWE, so expect the unexpected.
Yeah, it's potentially going to happen. So the last match I have listed for night one, is the tag team turmoil top contender match between Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, Lana and Naomi versus Carmella and Billie Kay versus Natalya and Tamina. Now, and I say if with a star, if Bayley and Charlotte Flair are not added to this match, I think Lana and Naomi win. And I have no idea if Bayley and Charlotte are going to be like in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they have something else planned. I'm just saying if they don't, and they want to get them on the show, this is their chance. If they get added to that match, I think they win. So that's out of left field. I know that's just my theory is if they get added, that's what I think will happen. However, if they don't get added, I'm about 90% sure that Lana and Naomi will win.
Do you want my gut or my brain?
Well, both. we gotta do it quick. We got 10 minutes before SmackDown. I gotta do night 2.
Yeah, gut, Riot's, brain, Tamina, and Natalya. The way they're pushing them pretty good on SmackDown. So yeah, those are. I think it's Tamina and Natalya.
Okay, cool. So night 2, we know the main event's going to be the WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of people think Edge is going to win, because that way he can come back and win. I don't think so. I think they're going to keep this belt on Roman Reigns for a long time, and I have Roman Reigns winning. Who do you have?
Roman, but like I said, Hart, Edge.
Yeah. Asuka versus Ripley. I have Ripley winning because they treated Asuka's title run like absolute garbage.
I think it's going to be Ripley until they bring somebody up. But if
Ripley's the person they brought up, so there's really no point to bring.
But after Takeover, for what happened, what I have a feeling is that if they keep the belt on Asuka, the next huge pay-per-view is going to be Io and Asuka.
Possibly, yeah, I could see that. Randy Orton versus The Fiend. Randy Orton will finally win.
It's The Fiend.
I know, yeah. That's the thing. It's The Fiend with Alexa Bliss. I just think Randy Orton will finally win. Who do you have?
I have The Fiend, and the thing about it is that I'll add a caveat to this. The worm projection that they did is going to be a callback, but it's going to be Alexa laughing, and they'll go into the funhouse kind of setup where her mouth closed like the 3D bird thing, and just it'll be like Randy gets dragged down and just starts the funhouse part.
Okay. WWE Intercontinental Championship match: Big E versus Apollo Crews in some kind of like
Nigerian drum match.
Thank you. I forgot the name of it. It was like something match. I have Big E winning.
E.
So okay. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus whoever wins the Tag Team Turmoil. I have whoever wins that match winning the titles.
Natasha and Tamina. If they're the one, if Tamina and Natalya win the Turmoil, they win the titles.
Okay, yeah, I don't think they win
because I think they're gonna want to separate the two.
Didn't you just say you thought the Riot Squad would win?
I said my gut says Riot Squad.
Gotcha. Okay,
but
my bad.
I know the way they're booking with talking smack and stuff. They want Tamina and Natalya to do something huge.
See, I think Lana and Naomi would be good, but that's what Twitter wants. So who knows? Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens.
Owens with jumping off the Owens with jumping off the pirate ship.
I do. I mean, that's the thing. I hope my heart wants Kevin Owens to win. My brain tells me Sami Zayn's going to win. I think like something like Owens will jump off and it just like something else happens. I think Sami Zayn's going to win. I would be like I love both guys, so whoever wins. It's one of those things where I could see Kevin Owens putting over his buddy if it came down to it. Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. Sheamus really needs a win here, but I think Matt Riddle will win because what I think will happen, and this is what I want to happen, and it's not really prediction. This is what I would like to see happen. During the show, before that match, I would like to see Sheamus kind of like push Rob Van Dam around or something, and Rob Van Dam like cost Sheamus the title, and that way you get the Riddle Van Dam like friendship. That is money right there. It is. That's pure money right there. Just think of the t-shirt sales they could have between RVD and Matt Riddle like together.
Yeah, it's going to be Riddle.
Yeah. So with that, and then the show is hosted by Titus O'Neil, and I'm not going to mention the other guy's name because he's not worth it.
Can I add a question for you too, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Ding Dong Hello is a part of Mania at some point?
If she is not added to the match, it better be. It better be. Otherwise, I'm gonna. And granted, it doesn't matter to WWE, but I will be extremely, extremely pissed off if they don't have Bayley and whether you like her or not, Charlotte Flair deserves to be on that show too. She helped carry Raw for a little bit after Becky, and not like Becky when Becky left. She carried Raw for that 3 or 4 months before she left in August. But I think both women should be on this card, and I think Ding Dong Hello could be there. And now Ding Dong Hello, if this going back to the person that we were both referencing to, that would be the guest that I would want her to have. You know, so that's what I'll say. If that's what she does, that's fine. Because you know what's funny about that? When the Hardy Boys came back at WrestleMania, the New Day didn't have a match that night. But who do you see? Like whenever they go back to that WrestleMania, you'll always see the New Day. The New Day are and the Hardys obviously, but the New Day like this shows like with Becky. Or see, I said it who it was. If she's on the show and she's on Ding Dong Hello, for the rest of the time when they show that highlight, Becky or Bayley will be part of that highlight. So maybe that's what they're doing. So
and
that
it's the same thing with Cena and Elias too. When Cena went the Dr. Thuganomics too. Yeah, by the way, can I say something before we get to the ending?
Yeah.
You'll always be my champion.
Oh, you got the belt. Yep. Or no, that's your other belt.
No, I haven't gotten the new one yet.
Yeah, that's what I realized because I knew you had that belt. That's awesome. I love that belt.
But you'll always be the champion.
So, before I go ahead and tell you where you can find us today on the sports site I write for, I was able to get. I was able, and it took me a while, but I was able to get Jeremy Lambert and Joe Holbert on the show. Temporarily, just for about 20 minutes. We talked I asked them just a few questions like, how did the distraction start? How do you think it's been going? You can, it's on my Twitter. I'll actually pin it tonight. I just want to say, and I don't know if either guy will ever watch this particular episode, but I just want to say thank you for those guys coming on. And I hope to one day have them on this show as well. I would have tried to have them on this show, but the timing did not work for them to be able to do it at this time of night or evening. So when WrestleMania season is over and they want to we try to do something else, I think it'll probably happen on this show. So I just want to say that. And I know, Ron, you were there to watch a show. I really appreciate you being there. Tim, I see you're in chat. I want to say thank you for checking this show out. It means a lot that you guys support me in Throwback. You're both good dudes. And if I missed anybody, I truly appreciate it. I mean, the thing is we might only get 3 people that watch this show, but
word of mouth.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm fine. I'm doing this to have fun. So, I just want to say thank you. SmackDown's about to start. Throwback, where can they find you?
Every Tuesday night, Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, 8 o'clock. We're going to keep the train going until we hit the 1 year. And then as of May 27th, we will be on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock, which should help. And you never know, you might see In the Mix. So you get 2 amazing shows on 2 different nights back to back. And then
Sweet.
Throwback 978 at Twitter, and try to get that Twitch game going. So let's get that going. Twitch.tv Throwback 978 also announced Tuesday nights we will be doing a new show. So maybe we can get a pre-recorded version for me and Rob to do, go back to the old set and talk about that stuff.
All right, guys. Well, we are out. So everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania, and we will see you next week. Peace.